so some extra help for the scientific notation word problem. Let's start. The circumference of the Earth at the equator is about 24,900 miles. Express this number in scientific notation. Okay, so words that might throw you off are the word circumference. You don't really need to know what that means to answer the question, do you? I'll tell you, it means the distance around the Earth at the equator, right? So if you were to measure it, that's how far it is. If it were to wear a belt, that's how long the belt would be. Okay, but what we do need to know is the words scientific notation, right? And we need to know, we need to use 24,900 miles. Okay, how do I change that number into scientific notation? Where would I have to have that decimal be? Where would the decimal go? Between the 2 and the 4. So let's rewrite it. 2.49. Do I have to write the zeros? I don't. If you write them, it's technically not wrong, but the whole idea is to shorten it. Okay, so that's the first part of my answer. Scientific notation also always has something else on it. What is it? Somebody else. Starts with or rhymes with mimes men. Oh yeah, times 10. Good job. Times 10. That's still not the answer. We also need an exponent. What's it going to be, Jada? It's going to be a 4. Great. So here's the reason why. When we write this out, the the decimal starts here. That's where it starts out as. And so the reason it's a 4 is we had to move it back 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. And so that's how we get an exponent of 4. So this is the answer in scientific notation. Good. Oh, wow. Okay, this is the reason right here that we use scientific notation. Here's why. The mass of a proton is approximately this many kilograms. Is that big or small? That's super small. There's a lot of digits, right? But this is really microscopic. Express this number in scientific notation. Do you need to know what a proton is to answer this question? No. But a lot of us know it's in the nucleus of a cell. It's one of those little tiny pieces, all right? But what we need to know is this number right here needs to go in scientific notation. All right, where does the decimal go? Where does it go? It's going to go between the 1 and the 6. Let's go. 1.6726. All right, what's the next part? Times 10. Boop. All right, we better start counting. It's going to take us a minute. You got 26? Can I get a second on 26? Somebody got 27. Let's count. Here's where it starts, right? Here's where it ends. Right here. So if you count, sometimes it helps to cross out the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, because you have to count the 1 as well. Is it positive or negative? Negative, because it's a really small number. Oh, I just realized why the screen keeps doing that. It's because I have it zoomed in. Let's just move it closer. Do 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 do. Oh, hey, look at that. All right, I can do it. This is called manual zooming. Okay, good. So this is the answer. See, the story problems are no big deal, right? You literally have to pick out the words that you know in order to do the problem. Okay, here we go again. The speed of light is approximately 6.71 times 10 to the 8 miles per hour. Is that going to be really fast or really slow? Really fast. That's a big number. Write this number in standard form. Standard form. So what do we have to do? Add zeros, right? So we'll start it like this, 6.71. How many spots am I going to move the decimal? 8. Am I going to move it left or right? To the right. Here we go. 1, 2 spaces are taken up by the 7 and the 1. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fill in those zeros. Do you leave your answer like that? No. Which decimal goes away? Yeah, between the 6 and the 7. So 6, 7, 1. And then we have 6 zeros after. And the decimal is here. Sometimes they'll go back and put commas back in so that you can literally see the standard form number is 671 million, right? There we go. Okay, next one. The mass of an electron, another word that you might not know, right? But we're going to look at the question. Is about 9.109 times 10 to the 31 kilograms. That should be a negative. Sorry, typo. That's a negative. Express this number in standard form. So if it is a negative number and it's the mass of an electron, is that mass really big or really small? Really, 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 really small. An electron is also a part of a cell or of a particle. Sorry. And what are we going to do with the decimal this time? Move it left or right? How many spots? 31 spots. Okay, real quick, before I do the waves, if you know I'm going to move the decimal left 31 spaces, and the 9's going to take up one of them, how many zeros will there be? 30. Let's go. Decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And then what? A 9, a 1, a 0, and a 9. That is the reason scientific notation has been invented. Do you really want to write that out every single time if you are a chemist or a scientist? Heck no. This is way easier. We're going to write it like this, but now you know. Okay, on our upcoming test, there will be a table that looks kind of like this, where they express several things in one table. So in this case, what are they talking about? Before we even read any of the problems, what are they telling us? Populations of different countries, aren't they? So China, India, United States, and the entire Earth, right? So the entire Earth encompasses all of these plus all the other countries, right? So here we go with story problems. Number 5, how many more? How many more? So those 3 words came in our bell work today. How many more means what? How many more? Right away. Subtraction. It doesn't say how many times more. It says how many more. This means we are going to subtract. How many more people are there on Earth than live in China? Write your answer in scientific notation. So I need to subtract. So let's start with Earth. Our Earth number is 6.4 times 10 to the 9. In order to subtract, do I need to take this out of scientific notation? Yes, okay. The only ones we don't is multiply and divide. To add and subtract, we got to take it out. Here we go. 6.4. How many spaces am I moving that out? 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and I'm going to remember that this is Earth. So I'm going to just write an E for that. I also need what else? China. So I'm going to do a C for China. Okay, so China is 1.3 times 10 to the 9. Here we go. 1.3. Let's move it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fill it in. Okay, now I have to subtract them. In order to subtract, what do I do? Line them up. So I'm going to line mine up starting with Earth. So make sure you have the correct amount of zeros. If you count, there should be how many zeros for this? 8. decimal. Now line the other one up underneath it from the decimal. And again, this one has 8 zeros as well. Now, make sure you don't make a mistake here. What am I doing? Am I adding or subtracting? Okay, and we wrote it, but sometimes we write it and then we get all excited and then we add. Don't do that. So the zeros are all easy peasy. So we do 0 minus 0. Okay, 4 minus 3. 6 minus 1. Okay, but it says write your answer in scientific notation. So where should the decimal go? In between 5 and 1. So 5.1 times 10. And what's our exponent going to be here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is our exponent, and that is our final answer. All right, good. Number 6. How many times greater? How many times greater? Right away, what are we doing? Not multiply. Divide. So that is something that gets mixed up. Multiplication, division, and subtraction. How many times greater means we're going to divide in a second. Is the population of Earth than the population of the United States? Well, so when we divide, do we need to do what we did up here where we write it out? No. Okay? When we divide, we don't have to do that. We just need to make sure we have the right numbers. So Earth is first. So that's my top number. 6.4 times 10 to the 9th is Earth, right? Divided by, and we write it like this. What's the other number I need? Yeah, the US is 3.0 times 10 to the 8th, according to this. Okay, so when I divide, what two numbers am I actually going to divide? 6.4. Yeah, 6.4 divided by 3.0. So we're going to type that in our calculator of 6.4 divided by 3.0. And this is what happens. So kids get confused because they get a repeating decimal, right? What's that? So when we do this, we're going to round it. So we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth or tenth, right? So in this case, let's go, or thousandth even. Let's go 2.13, because then we have a repeat, right? Times 10. And what are we going to do now with our 9 and our 8? Subtract them. So 9 minus 8 gives us what? 1. Times 10 to the 1 is going to be our population here. This is our final answer. Real quick, is this the same exact as 2.13 times 10? Yeah, it is. Okay, so this, don't get confused if they put an answer choice and it doesn't have the 1, but usually on our test it will be. All right, one last one for the video, and then the rest of them I actually think we can probably do on our own. This one was not in our bell work, but what is the sum? Add. Good. Sum means add. Okay, so if you see the word SUM, that means we're going to add. Okay, of the population of India and China. All right, so in addition, do we need to do what we did in 5 where we write it out? Or do we do what we did in 6? We got to write it out, don't we? Okay, so India, let's go. 1.1 times 10 to the 9th. So let's move it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So not 9 zeros, only 8 zeros here, right? Oops, there's my decimal. Okay, so that was India. What other one do we need? China, okay. So China we did here, didn't we? So let's just use it again. So how many zeros did we have for China's up here? 8 again. So is it technically already lined up here? Yeah, it is. So we're going to work smart, right? And when since they're already lined up, what am I going to do now? Add. We're going to add them. Here we go. The 0 plus 0s are easy. All right, 1 plus 3 is? 1 plus 1 is? Okay, put it in scientific. Raise your hand if you know it. What's it in scientific? Jada, go.
2.4 times 10 with the positive 10 exponent.
Positive 10, let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So we got to be careful. It's not 10 because we only went to the 2.4. And this is our final answer. Okay, there is a back, right? But there's only 3 questions on the back. And I'm going to stop the video because, oh no, we have one more different one, don't we? All right. So I will do this for the sake of the video. I'll tell you that number 8 should be a multiply. Okay. I will tell you that, nope, number 9 you're going to have to figure out on your own. All right. But I will highlight these words. How many times bigger? And then number 10, 2 answers, standard form and scientific notation. Okay.